Hello guys, and welcome back to our Unity learning video series. In the previous video we were able to do some coding and change the color of our cube during the play mode. Now let's continue our project from that place. Let's try making a pattern of this cube by making duplicates. So I right click on the cube and click duplicate, and you get another copy of that in the same place inside the hierarchy. So inside the hierarchy, so if I move it a little bit to the right, you have two cubes. So now to identify it better, we can either change the name or we can change this icon here. Let's add a proper color. Okay, I think blue is okay, and click the other one and add another color. Okay, that's good. Now we have distinguishable cubes in our scene. Let's try another color, maybe orange. Yeah, okay. Before going forward, I think it's better if I could show you how the parent and child relationship happens between game objects and how to do it. Basically, you can make a game object the parent of another game object. So I am trying to make the orange colored cube the parent of the green colored cube. By the word color, I meant the icon color. Now I am going to lock this inspector view so that when you click other game objects, let's say the green one, the inspector view stays the same. And now I can add another inspector window by going to add tab and select inspector. Now we have two tabs showing the inspector window. One is showing the orange iconed cube and the other is showing the green iconed cube. Now let me just tidy these things up. I'm just going to check the transforms. So I'm going to fold off the other component data, and let's just expand the transforms. Okay, now you see that the orange iconed cube is in the 0 0 position and the green iconed cube is with a certain offset 1.62 along the x-axis. To check our inspector views, I am going to select both our cubes. You hold the shift key and click on the cubes to multiple select and move along the x-axis by dragging the x-axis arrow. You can see that in the inspector the x value of the both cubes are changing. Now I want to make the green or green labeled cube a child of the orange labeled cube. You just click and drag the required object and drop it into the object that you want to be set as parent. Now let's try selecting both of the cubes and moving along the x-axis and see what happens. You can see that only the parent cube, the orange labeled cube, is changing the x value while the green labeled x value is staying the same. When you child a game object to another game object, the child's position values are measured with relative to the parent's position. So if you move the parent object, the child object's position relative to the parent doesn't change. So the child object follows the parent object as a member of a group. This group is led by the parent game object. You can see when I move the parent object, the child object is following without changing any relative positions. Okay, now let's progress with our experiment here. Let's give this x value a round number. Let's say okay, 2 is okay. And now that we don't need the inspectors, I'm just gonna close them and unlock the view. Okay, now we are back. So we have one child object under the orange labeled cube. Let's make more child objects like this. We can press Ctrl D and make duplicates of the selected game object, and they automatically become the child of the game object we assigned. The duplicates are not visible because they are at the same position of the first copy. So let's try creating a small pattern in our child cubes. Okay, I'm going to assign these negative values and let's change this x and y. No, let's do x and z values. Okay, so I am giving positive 2 and negative 2 to the duplicate cubes to make this pattern. Okay, so now if I move the parent object, you can see the child objects are following as a group. Okay, now let's see how the play mode looks, because we have a script component attached to each of these cubes. Okay, you can see each cube is behaving individually and giving random colors. Now let's open our player script and do some modifications there. Okay, now we have our script opened in Visual Studio, but before going to editing, let's go back to our scene and see what happens if we rotate this parent around the y-axis. you can click and drag the y value in inspector, and you can see the child objects are rotating. But since the rotation relative to the parent is not changing, the child objects are not rotating around their own axis. Let's try using our code to rotate each and every cube. You already saw from the inspector that the position and rotation and scale are included in an entity called transform. So we can access the transform from our code, which is the transform component that is attached to the game object, and we can call transform.rotate. Rotate. Okay. So this rotate method has different parameter sets that you can pass to rotate the game object. I am going to use the parameter set that has an axis and an angle. So in each frame it uses an axis and rotates an angle amount around the given axis. For the axis I am passing vector3.up. This up is the shorthand given to the y-axis of the game world. So for the cube, this green arrow is the y direction or the up, and vector3.up means the world's y direction, which is given by the top right gizmo. Each of these small arrows in the top right is pointing to the positive direction of that axis. Okay, so vector3.up, and I am passing a floating point number of 0.1. Okay, now we are executing this method in the update method. So in each frame, each cube has to rotate around the global y-axis. Let's go to play mode. Okay, now you see that the parent cube is rotating and the child cubes are rotating as well. All of these cubes are rotating around the global y-axis. Now we have a group of objects which are behaving according to a script component. Now let's try duplicating this parent object and repeat this pattern using the parent objects. Okay, so now we have 4 of these parent objects under another parent cube object. So I am making that same cross pattern with these groups of objects. Okay, I'll adjust these positions from the inspect as well, so we can have more round numbers and not decimals. Okay, everything's around. Okay, let's put 5 here. Okay, nice. So now we have another parent object holding the previous duplicates, or 4 duplicates of the previous parent object. So let's go to play mode. Okay, Now we can see in the scene window as well. You can see the rotation happens in the groups as well, and inside the group the same rotation goes to the child cubes. Let's have some fun and extend this pattern for another level. Okay, now we extended the pattern to another level. Now the camera angle is not very good, so let's change it. You can use the inspector windows values and edit them for the camera, but it will take some time. Instead, you can change the view in your scene in the best way possible, and then you can select the main camera, go to game object and align with view, and when you click it, the camera will align with the view in your scene, and now you have some values near to the correct values that you have to put into the inspector. So you have minus 0.5, it's probably 0, 97 point, it should be 90, and x and z values could be 0 because the parent cube is at 0, 0 in the xz coordinates. Okay, now you can see the camera preview, it's in the correct position. Now let's go to play mode and see. Okay, we have our color switching behavior and the rotation applied to the cubes in the hierarchical manner. I think the colors would pop out if the background color was dark. We can adjust this color from the main camera. In your main camera, there's a clear flags option. You can select the solid color option. Now you can see in the camera preview that there's a certain bluish color. Let's select it to black, and okay, now it's way better. To maximize your game window, you can click on the options, these three dots here. Here, and click maximize. Okay, now you can see clearly your rotation behavior and color switching behavior, creating a nice pattern. Okay, I'm going to stop this video for now. See you guys again with another new tutorial to use the Unity engine and do some cool fun stuff. See you.